I'm going live now. Hi guys, good afternoon. Welcome to our December 28th episode of our Stock Market Insights. And yesterday was the last day of the year, right? Yeah, it's the last trading day of the year, last Friday or yesterday. Okay, but then again, as always, we would like to review how the market went, how our stocks performed, and let's see how it will potentially move in the coming days, right? I think the next trading day is on the 2nd of January. Okay. Okay. There you have it. Let's see. We're just loading our saved chart here. We're using Bollinger Band, this one, and our RSI over here as our main indicators. Of course, paired with the right candlesticks, they all influence our insights. And let's check. Okay, so by the way, if this is your first time to watch our video, please don't forget to subscribe so that you're always updated and you're notified whenever we have our live. Okay, so if you have requests, just drop a comment and so we can prioritize your request. If not, I will just go through the usual thing here. I sort our stocks and according to from highest to lowest. Okay, highest in terms of the number of trades. Right, let's check out MWC. Okay, we've experienced some rejection that happened right over here. So MWC experienced a heavy downfall after that bad news, right? But then it slowly is recovering. So now I would have to say there is a chance that it might rest because we have experienced some rejection as we go near your um, MA20. So the blue line here is our MA20, guys. Now let's see. Where could it potentially retrace? Just in case we have some rejection over here at the MA20 line. Let's just treat MA20 line as our resistance. But with this kind of candlestick, I feel that that is already a bearish candlestick and it might rest for a while. But we don't know yet how far it can potentially go down. So let's try to use a Fibonacci retracement. So at least you know the key areas to watch out for. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So if I am to use this, because I feel that this is a bearish candlestick, the next possible areas to watch out for would be 9.33 over here, 8.69, 8.18. So these are the key areas that will potentially bounce at. URC is currently sitting at our MA20 line, so I think we have to monitor this as we're currently sitting at a possible support. However, if the price starts lower than 145 on the 2nd of January, if it starts lower than that, and most of the action happens below it, then it might continue to go down. Otherwise, this is already sitting at the short-term support that we see at the moment, 145. So if, let's say, it starts around this area and most of the action happens on the upside, then chances are it will continue to bounce on the upside, right? Because overall, the sentiment is really downwards, but we started to break the MA20 line, and it's just probably doing it's trying to stabilize at the support level before it continues to move up. And for this one, okay, I'd say let's use our MA20 line as our support area. Okay, so this level over here used to be a resistance, and your MA20 line being uh, another area of possible bounce. So I'm thinking the market might give you a chance near it. So if you want to get in as near as you can to the 125 level. 124.93 is the exact amount that I plotted here at. But it's an area, so 125 to 126 is already a good area to start accumulating volume, as I feel that the sentiment is now above the MA20 line, so people are starting to become more bullish in our ICT. Okay, for BDO, you are again near our short-term resistance over here. It it went below MA20 line, but of course, because BDO is uh, one of the established companies in the Philippine market, the dips are just very manageable. You don't really see very erratic movements in blue chip companies. Okay, because there are a lot of people who are selling. There are also a lot of people who are buying this stock. That's why if you have dips, it will only be 1 to 2%, right? But don't expect that your money will really gain significant amounts overnight, right? But let us say you entered October to November in a month's time. If you entered right here, this is a really a good return ROI, 16%, right? But it took you like how many months? Like 1 month average, right? But for secondary stocks, sometimes you can see movements such as 20%, 15% in just the span of 1 day. Okay, but in the meantime, take note of our resistance for our BDO over here. We are very near 159 level, although while we see that we're already above the MA20 line in terms of risk to reward, we're very near our resistance. AC, there's a rejection that happened at the MA20 line. It followed the same pattern over here, wherein when it reaches the MA20 level, there's a rejection. So chances are more movements downwards for AC. SMPH, okay, we're slightly higher than their plotted resistance, so let us see. But take a look at, let's check this out. Let's check out your RSI. While the price was moving upwards, right, we're slightly higher than the previous high. Price was moving upward here. Your resistance is starting to decline. So I would have to say, if you are going to try out SMPH, make sure you use a much faster time frame and trade it for now. But for long-term investors, I know you guys have longer outlook. You don't really mind the dips. So regardless of where it is at right now, I just look at the fundamentals, and I'm sure SMPH is one of the more established companies in the country. So this should not really influence your decision. But if you really want to take advantage of a much cheaper price wait for the bounce areas, because currently we're sitting at the resistance level. Bounce areas would be, of course, your MA20 line over here. So if you're given a chance, even if you're a long-term investor, which would you choose? Would you like to do it now, or you just want to put your buying power, set it aside first and wait for a much better opportunity where you can take advantage of a much cheaper price? Because right now we're at the resistance area for SMPH. AEV is right here. Okay, it's just resting, but we're very near the support that we see. I use MA20 line as a support, and one thing that confirmed this is, of course, your support over here and previous resistance over here, right? You also had a resistance over here, okay, and of course your MA20 line being a possible area of bounce. That is why 51, okay, 51 is our imaginary support here. Ali broke the MA20 line, so I'm not confident that it will bounce right away. So I'd like to plot our next support since it broke that MA20 line. I think the market will give you a chance around 44.74, and just in case it just moves, within this range, at least you're already invested at the support level before it officially bounces upward. Overall, yeah, we're still at a reasonable price for Ali. At one point it even reached this level over here, 53 area. So that is, if for those who are long-term investors, that's already a discount of 15%, 16% from the price last July. SM is currently giving us bearish sentiment. Now, well, technically this is a support area. This is a support. Actually, it broke the support that we see here. This was their resistance previously over here, right? So it broke that, so I have a feeling it will continue to go down, and the next area to watch out for would be this. So it might continue to move downwards, right? 1011 area. Yeah. There's another one actually here. Because of this one. Okay. 3 areas. Broke this line. Next possible area to watch out for would be this. Next would be this. Okay, so if it breaks this area, then watch out for a possible bounce here. Of course, you have to validate your assumptions by looking at your RSI and your volume. For now, my analysis suggests that it will still continue to go down. JFC is just resting, you guys. So this is a doji, okay, and we're slightly higher than this low over here, so I'm thinking this will continue to bounce on the upside. It just rested. Good job to those people who took advantage of the dip when it reached the 209 level. Okay, so that was already right off the bat after 3 days a gain of how much? 14, 5, oh no, around 5%. Okay, so I'm thinking with this doji that happened over here, we'll see some more bullish movements for JFC. See that even if it dipped, it didn't really go more than how much? Yeah, so it was just a slight dip, and then a lot of people are still buying it because they know that the price is very attractive. Look at how far we have dipped from its high last January. Overall, for the entire year of 2019, the sentiment of the market is really bearish for JFC. But look at the long-term outlook of this company, guys. They made a lot of partnerships and acquisitions in 2019, so you will be harvesting the fruits of these investments in the coming years. So think about long-term when you are engaged in JFC. Now for this one, yeah, we're currently sitting at the support area. So let's see, I hope it does not break this area. This was our resistance previously, and it's starting to show bearish sentiment. If it continues to break that line, then the next possible support that we see is right at 64.41 level. Okay, 64.44 is almost in the same area. So more bearish sentiment or movements for MBT. Okay, if it breaks here 66.30, it will go down to 64.44. And MPI. MPI, there was a rejection, but very powerful MA20. So you see this, guys? Your MA20 is what we call the moving average in the past 20 days. So here, when it reached the MA20 line, you had rejection. So more movements downward for MPI. See that as we go near your MA20, there was a rejection. Here, yeah, we had a resistance right here. Okay, so just be extra careful with MPI. But for those people who believe in the fundamentals, just wait, put your buying power aside, because I feel that you will be able to get MPI at a much cheaper price, you know. The next one is BPI. BPI also had a rejection at the MA20 line. This one over here, while it's true that we're slightly higher than the MA20 level, for me this is a bearish candlestick. And BPI has a history of a price doing overshoot. It overshoot slightly higher than your MA20 level, and then it dips. In fact, this candlestick is kind of close to how it looks like before. Even though that was a green, but it's almost similar in how it looks. Let me see what's next. Your JGS. Okay, so if we are to plot our support from where it is at right now, we scroll slightly downwards while we look at to the left. That's what we call back testing. And do you see any area where it consolidates? Each time it hits that area, there's a pattern that's showing. And in this case, each time it reaches this area, there was a rejection, meaning this is your resistance before. And now that we have crossed that line, your previous resistance can now become your support. So I would have to say this is our support, 79.12. And if you can get in as near as you can to that level, then you will be able to get it at a much cheaper price. But overall, how far is this? This is just approximately around 2% from our support. Okay. Next would be DMC. DMC, you have your resistance. It's very obvious right over here. Why? When you reach this level, which is also the resistance at this level, there was a rejection. So chances are it will go down. It will first test your MA20 right over here. If it continues to break, then it might go downward some more. Okay, so be extra careful. Don't get in yet, because I feel that you will be able to get in at a much cheaper price for DMC. For those people who are already on a negative, let's say by 20% or more, I don't really recommend cutting your loss. That's part of the risk that we have here. Um, if you fail to monitor the market and you go negative uh, by a significant amount, that means if you sell your position, right, that means that's already a confirmed loss. And that's the reason why people get wiped out, because the moment you sell it, that's already a confirmed transaction. Now, if you have the patience and you say, let's say you're negative by more than 15%, the only time lost here is, of course, time. And if you don't really use the stock market as your main source of income, just let it stay there. And if you have extra money, then of course, add some more volume. Okay. Now, why do I have the confidence in saying this? Because I assume that before you even engage in a stock or a company, you have already researched the background of the company, the fundamentals, and the future plans of the company. So it is important that you pair your fundamental analysis, which is just looking at the uh, performance of the company, and then you pair it with your technical analysis. Okay, so maybe if that thought process works for me, I hope that also works for you, or you can even try it out. But overall, um, first identify what your objective is. Okay, because if you're doing it long term, there's no use in really monitoring it by the minute. Okay, you will just be stressed looking at the dips every single day. Okay, so it looks like for GT cap, we're actually sitting very near a possible support for GT cap. Okay, this used to be your resistance several times, and it reached that level, and then over here became a support. Right when it broke that, your previous resistance became a support, and now we're very near this area. You had some rejection that happened here at your MA20 level, even if it's slightly higher, but that definitely it's just following your MA20 line. So if you want, you can give it a try at around 839 level. Let's see if it will continue to move up. So I'm thinking it will just do like this when it reach your MA20 line again, and then it will say produce higher highs and then break. I mean higher lows, and then to eventually break that line. Okay. Next would be Meg. Meg, I have a bearish, okay, but not totally bearish. But guess what? It's trying to stabilize at this area, provided it does not break. Okay, because while the price was just moving within this range, okay, your RSI is already starting to show bullish divergence. Okay, so look at this. This is a typical movement. Goes down and then consolidates within the area before it goes up. Okay, so the reason why I said that we're nearing that possible bounce is because of your RSI. Your RSI is already giving us bullish signals. Normally, your RSI gives advanced signals over what you see here in the candlestick patterns and in your Bollinger Band. Okay, AGI. AGI starting to trigger. See, we were right. Starting to trigger, guys, your upper band. Now, for several days, this area has shown some patterns. This is your nearest support. So I'm thinking most of the action will happen on the upside, but in case, in a day, a stock can fluctuate, like what happened here, it fluctuated from this point to this point. So overall, our assumption is that it will potentially go higher, but some people might take profit, especially for those who have entered right at the 11 pesos area. So if they take profit and then it gives you a chance near your 11:30 price, then you can start and you can actually start buying. Okay? 317 for Meralco. Meralco is a wait and see game. You're now at the resistance for Meralco. See that whenever it reaches your MA20 line, you had a rejection. But look, you're slightly higher, but given that there are a lot of traders in the Philippine market, some people might take profit and it will go back. Okay, so it's a wait and see game. If the price starts higher than 317 level, then you have a change in the direction this time. But if you have rejections, okay, and most of the sentiment is downwards, then chances are the downtrend is not over yet. Okay, so critical area to watch out for. Just in the just in the event it crosses the MA20 line on the upside, your nearest resistance would be here. Next possible resistance is 331. TEL. For TEL, okay, interesting. TEL is just stabilizing at the area. Okay, and then your RSI is already moving in a bullish direction. Look at that, technically double bottom here, but your RSI is already giving us that one. Oops. Okay, moving higher while it went down and stopped at the same area. Your price is higher. I mean, your RSI is slightly higher. SECB. Okay, SECB is, we had rejections that happened right here at the MA20 line, so it will go back. Chances are in here, 186 level. So that's our support, guys. Okay, so we might have some more downward movements for this. Let me just check. How's our audio so far? Just want to confirm. Just checking, one moment. Okay, it's working. Next would be FGen. Similar movement. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about Globe first. Globe has technically, you have a new support right here for Globe. Yep, that's the support we see for Globe. And I feel that this will continue to create a brand new wave. It went that way, something like that. So in case the market gives you a chance at 1978, good, but the nearer you are, anywhere from here, and let's say you add 2%, that is still a tolerable entry price for Globe. Overall, we now have, actually since this day, you already had an upward direction for Globe, and the resistance, the long-term resistance that we have here for this year's performance is 2000. Yeah. FGen. FGen still consolidating. If you can get in as around this area, that should already be a good entry price. Yeah, that's the support that we see. The reason why I said that is this one as well. And then there was also a rejection that happened here. Yeah, overall it's just consolidating in that area. 23.46 is the support that we see. Wow, this one also has a brand new wave, creating a brand new support because it broke that area that used to be a resistance. Used to be a resistance here, over here. So now you might have more movements above that line. So in case it gives you a chance at 27, all good, but slightly higher is also fine. Okay, Bloom. Bloom, this is your support. Okay, take note, it's an area, guys. So some of the lines there, this is your support, but some days you had overshoot. Also, this used to be a resistance here. Yeah, and several days this price was also hit. So 11 pesos is our support for Bloom, guys. Okay, so now I think that's it for part one. I will check again later, and maybe I can record another round, and this time we are going to cover the stocks from fruit and we work our way downwards. Okay, so in case you have requests, probably tonight I will be able to record again. And I know many of you are in a holiday mode. Happy New Year in advance, a few more days. And yeah, I think yesterday was the last trading day of the year. So it has been a roller coaster ride for most of us. But don't give up. Whatever, yeah, whatever losses that we had for the past year, take the time to review how you did, and of course, for those that were profitable, reinforce those techniques that you applied. You know, even if there are losses, you also use that for your learning. In the meantime, thank you for joining us, and I'll see if I can record again tonight for the remaining stocks that you might have. Okay, thank you. Bye bye for now.